And we join just in time for the opening faceoff. I'm Matt Gajtka. Welcome to the East Hockey live stream as we begin the West Michigan Hockey Showcase for your Pioneers. East Grand Rapids for the second straight year taking on Houghton in the first day of this tournament. Well, I say tournament, but it's more, like I said, of a showcase. There'll be no winner or loser necessarily at the end of the thing, but an opportunity to show what you've got against squads from across the state of Michigan. Houghton coming into this game with a record of 3-2-1, coming off a split against regional rival Marquette last week on the road. East Grand Rapids, meanwhile, also split a pair of games last weekend as they were up in Alpena. They beat Grosse Pointe South 2-1 and then fell to Detroit Catholic Central 4-2, hanging in there against the Shamrocks, despite playing what many consider to be, once again, the top team in the entire state of Michigan. I'm Matt Gajtka. We're here at Patterson Ice Center on the southeast side of Grand Rapids, and we're on the West Rink this evening for the drop of the puck as Jake Matson chases it back into his own end for Houghton. The Gremlins from up in the UP making the long trip down for the second straight year. Good to see him again. Brody Donnelly backhands it in deep, in around behind the East Grand Rapids goal, and a shot coming off the wall. Rebound, still loose, and they score! Brody Donnelly is going to get credit for that goal as he stuffed it under the pads of Ryder Owen just 25 seconds into the game, and the Gremlins have the first tally of this showdown matchup. If it is Donnelly, it's his second of the year at even strength. Last year, these two teams played 51 minutes of action, all of regulation, and scored just 2 combined goals. So already a departure from that trend when they met in this very same showcase. Lead pass behind the defense. Here comes Bjornsson, and he's stopped by Flax. That's how we meet the starting goalie for Houghton, Cooper Flax, who has a .910 save percentage. Denies Bjornsson on the breakaway pass. I believe it came from Trevor Bird. Those two have been lethal so far this season. Bjornsson leading the Pioneers in goals with 4 and points with 9. And Bird has a team-high tying 5 assists. He's tied, of course, with Bjornsson. This line's been effective. Long shot off the face-off win, patted out by Flax. And, well, we are certainly underway now. A goal one way, a breakaway the other way in the opening, 40 seconds of this game. Trevor Bird shooting, it's deflected off the end boards and comes loose for Donnelly, the goal getter for Houghton. Loose puck in the face-off circle, far side. Bjornsson pins his man. Gosens couldn't get it there. Bird will shoot and miss the goal. Might have been redirected. Wow, wow, wow. Like I said, here we go. Hope you didn't join us late. A shot from the far side goes right through Owen's crease. That came from Noah Millette, who has 6 goals to lead the Gremlins this year. He misfired there, and he heads off to the bench for a line change. There was a good game going on the East Rink just as we started. It was 4-3 Big Rapids against Grand Rapids Christian. This is the West Michigan Hockey Showcase brought to you by Baking Steel, also Patterson Ice Center, Howie's Hockey, Configura, WaterSolve, and IDville, all local companies supporting great local hockey as we welcome in some of the best from around the state. Backhanded in on Ryder Owen. He flags it down and uses the glove to hand it off to Whit Hill, the sophomore defenseman. Intercepted behind the Pioneers goal. Porter Markham looked to clear it in front, but that was blocked down. Trip Hoekstra bounces it through center ice. Easton Morse tries to control it as he ties up with Markham, and the puck loose to the Gremlins, but they spin it all the way back down. It's wide of Brinker, but ruled he could have touched it, so no icing. And it wasn't going to be it anyway because Owen had to play it as the puck came drifting right into his crease. Cooper Rowan snaps it around the wood. Far wing side, Owen Runyon getting in after it, or pardon me, that's actually J.P. Levan, your reigning Michigan Junior Amateur Golf Champion. Levan pulls it loose, dished it back to the point. Porter Brooks goes cross with it, and a shot by Gosens off the stick of Flax, and it hops loose to the near side boards. Levan took it, got it right back, tried to shoot it a second time. Now a third save by Flax, and Rowan reaching between the pads for the rebound, And guess what? Houghton didn't like that. Gage Goldstrand gave him a cross check right to the back for his efforts. 14-24 remaining in the first period. Just like the game I called earlier today, it was Bay Reps out of the Traverse City area against Grand Rapids Catholic Central. These teams have come ready to go. Like I said, it's an opportunity to see some teams you don't often see. And of course, East has played a showcase already down at Alpena last weekend. Ladled through, Brody Donnelly trying to take it, but he's hammered by Caden Gosens, the defenseman. Gosens, the senior, sends him down. One of the Gosens twins, Jake, his brother, also on the squad. Rebound in front of the goal. Again, an opportunity for Donnelly, and Owen got in front of that one. Houghton tenacious in the offensive zone, getting second and third follow-up chances. Porter Brooks escorts the puck out to center. But East is going to have to be sharp in this one in front of its own net. Can tell that already. Lofted down by Brooks to the center circle. Runyon pulls it loose, handed it off. Here comes Bird. Shot save, rebound goes just wide. Backhand chance on the follow-up by Runyon, and Houghton ices the puck down to our right. Runyon, already 3 goals on the year. He played last year, but in a limited capacity. This year getting much more of an opportunity and taking advantage of it. Out of those 3 goals, 2 of them are on the power play. Brody Donnelly has the only goal of this game. He scored at 25 seconds after the opening faceoff. Off the draw, Alex Barnes helps it back, but taken away by a gremlin. That's Mason Soley cruising down left wing against Whit Hill. Pulls up in the corner. Morse took it away for East. East in the white jerseys, gold helmets, typical home uniform for them. Houghton looking a bit like the Philadelphia Flyers with the black and orange. Snapshot saved by Owen on the point try from Cade Jenkins. To the far wall, Mason Soley, stripped by Barnes. Alex Barnes turned it back up the far boards. Intercepted, though. Liam Frick in the slot. Again, back for a shot by Jenkins. That didn't get through. Blocked very high in the air and flipped down by East Grand Rapids. No icing as it settles short of the goal line. Jenkins coughed it up the near wing. Rowan got in the way of that. Cale Rep, sophomore D, tries again for Houghton. Pushed off an East stick. Rowan settles on the puck. Attempted to shoot it in. It came right back to him on the bounce. And then he's crushed by Cade Jenkins. Open ice hit on Cooper Rowan. Rowan, the junior D-man. One of several returning D for East Grand Rapids. A lot of experience on the blue line. Caden Gosens, he's one of them. He's back for this puck first. Takes it away from Braden Kari. Rowan's pass hit a boot, but right over to Levan. Levan helps it over to Brooks, and Brooks sends it north. 5 minutes into the first period. Houghton leads it, but East starting to find its legs. Long trip down for Houghton. Several hours to get here via the bus. Turned over. Jake Gosens in the circle. Save. Rebounds there. And Gremlins diving left and right. They clear it out of the crease. Brooks' attempted shot. Deflected up into the rafters almost. He had to flag it down with his glove. And turned over by Brinker in the corner. Drop pass. And Hembroff works it over to Millette, He centers. Intercepted by Brooks. And Brooks, can he get it out? He can, just barely. That was right on the blue line. If that came out, it was by an inch. But the linesman says it did come out into the neutral zone. So Houghton causing havoc in the offensive zone. A handful of extremely quick forwards. And Houghton on the year, they've scored some goals. They beat Traverse City Central 6-0. Also beat Marquette 6-0 as an opportunity for Donnelly for his second of the period. But that jumps just wide. Maybe Ryder Owen got a piece. Owen, the sophomore goalie. First-year goalie, though, for East in a tandem with Charlie Finch, who played almost all of last year for East Grand Rapids. Headman pass by Runyon. It's a good one. Onto the stick of Bird. He rifles the shot, and Flax gobbles it up. Cooper Flax getting tested early and often, but so far, so good for him. In 4 games played, he's got a 1.75 goals against average. I mentioned the save percentage, well over 900. Ryder Owen, though, has been impressive in his high school debut season. So far, 5 games, a 958 save percentage. That'll get your attention. As I was saying, though, the Gremlins have 6 goals in a couple of games this year. Also scored 3 in the first matchup against Marquette. They tied Hancock 2-2 earlier this season and beat the Jeffers Jets 4-1. Jeffers, a co-op team from up north as well in the Houghton vicinity. This is Cade Jenkins giving it over to Gullstrand, right back to the center point, but Kari was overtaken and the Pioneers clear. Quick re-entry for the Gremlins. Sayin. Shot blocked in the slot. Off the glass it goes from Gosens. You're going to see a lot of Gosens and Brooks and Brinker and Rowan on the blue line for East Grand Rapids. Jammed out of the zone by Hoekstra, but the Gremlins are quick to gather it back in, but Hemroff can't make his way through. Hemroff has it once more. Trying the left side, deflected right in on Owen, and he senses his team needs a whistle, and so he covers it up with 9:57 to go in the first period, and the Pioneers down by a goal. Well, East opened the season with a 7-0 win against Lake Orion. Then they fell 3-1 here to Gabriel Richard, the only previous game so far on the stream. They lost 1-0 to Rochester United, beat Byron Center 2-1 on a Bjornsson overtime tally. They shut out the Forest Hills Northern Eastern Bird Dogs, who are up next on this stage, by the way, before going up north and splitting a pair. So 4-3 the record for East. Houghton at 3-2-1. Similarly, just 1 game over 500 early on. Hembroff turns against the grain, dumps it near corner. That's icing, though. He was behind the red line. And I mentioned Baking Steel as our title sponsor of the West Michigan Hockey Showcase. Baking Steel is a power play pizza stone made out of ultra-conductive steel. It turns any home oven into a pizza-making machine. And thanks to Andres Lagson and the folks at Baking Steel, for their innovation in the pizza stone area. Pulling it free, backhand chance, and Connor Arco sent it just wide. He was trying to connect with Donnelly. That line continues to buzz around the Pioneers' goal. Lead pass. Millette had to deflect off his stick. Gremlins are onside. Donnelly handed it off. Here's a shot from Arco, handled by Owen, and no further play. Connor Arco, 4 goals on the year. Nearly had another assist. He's got 6 to lead this club. 2 of those 4 goals on the power play. And the Pioneers face another defensive zone draw. Rowan against Sayin. Sayin controlled for Houghton. Pumped around the kick plate. It ends up on the near side. Jake Gosens couldn't help it out to center. He'll try again, but he's run into immediately by Gullstrand. But the puck free, and Rowan skates onto it. Down the left wing, cutting inside, shooting, redirected. Oh boy, that went off a Houghton leg, I think, and J.P. Levan nearly had a tap in on the right post, but not to be for East Grand Rapids. Gosens chiseled it over to Porter Brooks, up to Cooper Rowan at center ice, and banged through for Levan to carry. Wrist shot blocked by Cale Rep off his shin pad. That's where you want to catch those shots, where you got a lot of protection. Rowan looked to kick it to his stick, unable to do so, but Porter Brooks picks his way through neutral and shoots. That's blocked by Jenkins, got it back, did Brooks, couldn't get it through on the second chance. Centering Morse, and partially fanned on the one-timer. The pass was a little behind him and couldn't sweep it on net. All in one motion. Liam Frick, 1-on-2. His shot deflected, goes off hill, Frick got it back and snaps it high. Brooks to it for East, right by Calvin Rinkinen, and Trip Hoekstra on the move. Put it right on net. Flax has seen enough. He hangs on. 7:43 remaining in the opening period. Again, great to be with you all. My name is Matt Gajtka. calling games for East Grand Rapids for the second regular season in a row. Awesome to team up with Chris Newton and his squad once again. Chris has been fantastic to work with. Right around this time last year that Chris underwent that double lung transplant. He continues to battle cystic fibrosis throughout his life. Much better place physically this year for Chris Newton. That's a high stick on the puck by Houghton, and so the whistle sounds, halting play. Can't imagine trying to coach a team while you have that hanging over you. But that's the situation that he was in last year. Moving forward, back again to coach East Grand Rapids as Brinker shovels it toward the front, handled ably by the Gremlins. And Millette charges down the wing. Noah Millette, leading goal getter for this squad, gave it away to Bjornsson, who read it perfectly on the pass out to the point. He couldn't squeeze by Matson, who wiped him out with a shoulder-to-shoulder hit. Bjornsson keeps it going north. It bounces free over to Runyon. Gave it to Bjornsson in the corner. The battle continues, this time with Wesley Matala. One of those Finnish last names that you see often from folks up in the UP. A lot of Finnish heritage in that area. Offside, Houghton. Yeah, we've got Rinkkinen, Hallinen, Kari, Matala, Millette, all names that have that signature look of a family that originated in Finland. It's pretty cool. Makes that part of the UP especially unique. Deflected ahead by Rowan, charging in after it, trying to beat Kale Rep to the puck. Rep deflected it, up in the air. Brooks gloves it, feeds it into the near corner. Rowan with Jake Gosens. Gosens, a short mishandle, and it's flipped over his shoulder. Gullstrand tried to handle it, could not. Rowan spins it right back in deep. Chasing after it, Levan couldn't win the race to the puck. Cade Jenkins had a head start for Houghton. 6:14 to go in the first period. We've settled in. It's a little more conservative at the moment. High shot goes off the glove of Owen. Off the stick of, I believe that is Chad Hallinan. Yes, it is, number 8 pursuing Gosens. The jerseys are sharp for Houghton, but not the easiest to read at times. Not a lot of contrast between the black and the dark orange. Knocked out of the air, and back with it, Mason Soley. Cruising, firing, that's blocked by Whit Hill. Way to get in front of that one as Soley takes control. Timek looks to wedge it loose. Timek and Brinker work in that corner. Brinker takes over. His backhand up the wall. Hoekstra scoots it over to Timek, and out with it come the Pioneers. It's Barnes rifling off the shoulder of a Gremlins defender, Porter Markham. And the puck gets stuck at center ice. Timek threw it against the grain. It went behind Trevor Bird. Intercepted by Arco. Takes the shot, and again, the Pioneers block it to the end glass. That was Brinker that time. Fans continuing to file in for the 6 o'clock start. Wrister by Matala ends up rattling into the far corner. That's where Bjornsson gives to Hill. Hill from behind the net ended up turning it over. Matala cut the top off of the zone. Feeding it far side. Snapshot save. Owen, loose puck after the chance from Matson. And the Pioneers sweep it out within range of the blue line, but not out. Cross rink delivery. Donnelly reaches out, takes it. Hands it back. Millette, the pull-up move. Banked it behind the goal. Donnelly shooting. Glove save by Owen, and he hangs on from down in the butterfly position with 4:25 remaining in the opening period. Today it's Houghton, tomorrow for East Grand Rapids. Doesn't get any easier. It's Trenton in the final game of the showcase at 5:45. Also here on the West Rink. And we'll have that game for you on the live stream. High shot redirected and gloved by Ryder Owen. Cade Jenkins let it rip, and I think, was that Gullstrand who tipped that? You could hear the stick rattle from up here on the deflection. So that must have changed direction drastically, just from context clues. But Owen handled it well. Deflected out to center. Trevor Bird swiveling in over the blue line. Penalty coming up. It's going to be against Houghton. Owen to the bench. Pioneers turn it over, though, so they can't get a 6-on-5 going. But Cade Jenkins touches, and the Gremlins about to go short. First power play, hooking the call against Kale Rep. .405 to go in the first. East gets a chance to break the ice on the advantage. And it's pushed back to the point. Brooks changes the angle, shooting, and it missed the goal. Jump behind the net. So hooking the call on the zone entry. And the Pioneers keep it in the attacking zone. Push down the boards. Turning Arco, couldn't clear. A Pioneer got a stick on that. Bjornsson closing, feeding, getting it back as Bjornsson from Jake Gosens, but it's intercepted and cleared. Ripped right off of Bjornsson's stick. Donnelly sends it the distance. The East student section filing in too behind the goal down to our right, supporting their netminder Ryder Owen. Pioneers cruise in, but the Houghtons flip it out of play over the glass. And that gets a stoppage. East sends out a fresh fivesome to attack the back half of this power play. 1:16 to go on the hooking infraction to Kale Rep, Houghton sophomore defenseman. A goal in the opening minute by Brody Donnelly has Houghton ahead, 1-0 to this point. First power play for either side. Brinker yanks it centrally. Hands off to Caden Gosens. Across to his defense partner, Ethan Brinker. Brinker, who scored a hat trick against Forest Hills Northern and Eastern. Brinker is not a high-scoring player, but some days it's just your day. And Brinker gains the zone. Left it back. Got it back, did Brinker. Pummeled it behind the net. Hoekstra unable to catch up to it. Wesley Matala pounces on top of it. Brinker joined by J.P. Levan on the puck battle. The Pioneers have the man advantage on that battle, 3 against 2. But pulled out of the pack by Millette, and he sends it all the way down the river. Owen makes the pass at center. It's intercepted by Matson, and again, he forces the Pioneers to come 200 feet. 20 seconds left on the power play. Rowan's deep drop. Brinker has to reach for it. Rowan, as the Pioneers get Hill over the boards on the power play. Hill, he turned it over. Gage Gallstrand intercepts. Fires a shot from 70 feet. Sticked out of play by Ryder Owen, and just 6 seconds to go before we will return to 5-on-5 play. East has this weekend and then next weekend at Northville for a single game next Friday, and a couple of games before the break against Forest Hills Central on the 17th and Flint Powers, another tough team, on the 20th. Back to 5-on-5. Turn to the front by Donnelly. Hit a Pioneers skate. Donnelly, though, receives that pass in the corner. No, he didn't. He missed it, and it's taken on by Brooks. Arco overskated as the puck deadens on that yellow kick plate on the near side boards. Hill doesn't have a lot of options, so he lofts one to the Houghton line. Bird nearly scooped it up in flight. Didn't work out. Poke check from Brooks gives it to Runyon. Loose back in the Gremlin zone. Matala clears it around on the scale out. Brooks to Runyon. Over the red line. No icing here. He pitchforks it deep. 1:13 remaining in the period. Donnelly, the handoff to the surging Arco. Arco got it back. Great pass reception there. Wraparound chance. And Owen shuts it down. He got it from Millette. And did Arco ever turn that on net in a hurry? Talented player. Bjornsson, solo rush. Turned to his backhand. Fell down. Nearly made the pass, but it was taken away. Brinker steps up to keep it in the offensive zone. Here comes Jake Gosens, and he tests Flax short side, but Flax punched it out with a blocker glove. Caden Gosens hoists it down the boards. 39 seconds left in the period. Gremlins clear. Brinker back to it. Reverses it to Caden Gosens. Up the near wing, Jake Gosens, his twin brother, tips it. Rowan centering right by Gosens. I don't think he saw that pass coming. And deflected ahead by Donnelly. Hill came surging in to try to deflect that pass, and Donnelly tipped it right past him. 14 seconds left in the period. Matala wristing. That's off a Pioneer. Hops to the near corner. Down to 7 seconds. One last chance. Again, Matala. He pummels it deep. Whit Hill returns it out the near side. Noah Millette with a couple of seconds left. Back to Matala, but his shot was blocked. How you like that for Fast and Furious? No Vin Diesel required. Back after 10 minutes for the second period from the West Michigan Hockey Showcase, presented by Baking Steel. tripping. 10:58 remaining in the second period. And looks like we are reconnected. Sorry about that. Lost signal here from Patterson. Happens from time to time. But so, we rejoin just as Houghton goes to its first power play of the evening. Poke to center. Jake Gosens tapping it around Hembroff. Can Gosens win the race? He's right there, and Flax got the stick out, and a penalty. Hooking against Houghton. So there goes that power play. Jake Gosens takes care of it with that hustle play. And with just 10 seconds gone on the advantage, East Grand Rapids levels it up 4-on-4. Ian Hembroff goes off. So tripping one way, hooking the other. 10:47 to play in the second. And again, apologies to all the viewers who lost the signal. We are back up. I want you to put the word out that we back up. 4-on-4, still 1-0 Houghton. Brooks chasing it back. Porter Brooks behind his net, second-year Pioneer. Has some space with a couple of skaters off the ice. Finesses a pass to Alex Barnes. Pull-up move, shot, blocked to the corner. Jake Gosens on it there. He's got Barnes in front. Angles it back to Porter Brooks. Takes a look, shoots, and Flax saw it the whole way. Makes the glove save. Line change for both sides. 4-on-4 can be exhausting, so you do like to get quick changes in this type of a situation. 10-12 to go in the period. On the back half of this 4-on-4, the Pioneers will anticipate a short power play. Bird twists toward goal, weakened on the way, into the near corner. Pushed far wall to Cade Jenkins. Back to Porter Markham. Markham to Jenkins again. And Jenkins has some time and space. Angle pass off a Pioneer's stick. Right to Whithill. Scoops it around the wall. Runyon. His feed went behind Bird, who was cutting to the outside. The pass went to the inside. And a simple dump in from Markham. Markham 4 points on the year, leading all Houghton defensemen. 2 goals, 2 assists. But he's on the bench now. Runyon cutting in, and he got side swiped by Jenkins. Appears to be a very physical defenseman. Jenkins back to take this. Swoops around the referee artfully, and a gorgeous lead pass to Millette. Cutting in on his backhand side, now to the forehand. Drifted away from him. Whithill bunts it to the corner. Still free. Hill jabs it loose. Hill got a stick up, but referee rules that it was his own fault, essentially, as he was trying to wiggle free. Runyon. Power play begins for East. It'll only last just over 10 seconds. Bird takes a whack at it. Houghton driving in shorthanded. It's free. Arco missed the goal. The puck wouldn't settle for him. That power play is over. East 0 for 1 after not even really having a chance at it. That's the way it goes. Arco one-timer redirected high. Possibly off the stick of Bird on the back check. 8:34 remaining in the second period. Just about exactly midway through regulation time. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is the East Hockey live stream. East Grand Rapids back home. But actually the visiting team technically in this game. Someone asked me who the home team was going to be. I just guessed it was East, but I suppose they might be playing one home, one road in this tournament. And of course, why does that matter? Only matters for line changes. The home team always gets the right to make the last change after the visiting team switches up its players at a stoppage. Centering pass for Liam Frick. It went right through to Markham, right back to Frick. Markham one more time. Deflected shot off the glass. Owen couldn't reach it from the corner. Rinkkinen centering. Owen made the save. Point blank against Frick. Remember that one. Wristed toward the front. Another stop by Owen. Punched wide by Rinkkinen. That shot came from Markham and caused chaos in a big way, but the Pioneers still down just one. Rowan slamming Hembroff into the wall. That's a clean check, but the Pioneers ice it after that. 7:43 remaining in the frame. I mentioned Coach Chris Newton behind the bench. Also awesome to see Grant Newton back as well for East Grand Rapids. Grant's the creative mind behind all the social media videos and posts you see. He's done outstanding work for the entire East athletic department. But we like his hockey stuff the best. We're biased. Jamming on the near side wall. Bjornsson frees it up, finds Runyon, who gets his motor going. Just barely onside. Pass to the doorstep. Bjornsson nearly got a stick on it. A couple of Gremlins were around him, and play continues after the collision at the net front. Sayin cradling the puck as he looks to find an avenue, and does. Left it, Gullstrand to shoot around. Braden Kari turned it over. Bjornsson. That upright skating style now leans in. Bjornsson pumped it right through the crease on the backhand. Nobody home for East. High toss to the Pioneers' blue line. Whithill ahead with it. Bjornsson yanked it back on far wing. This is Hoekstra. His shot partially blocked. Whacked in front of the goal by Bird. Came back to Gosens, and Caden Gosens just pumped it wide. All the way into the corner. Matson stops on a dime. Looking for room. Makes the pass. Millette rifles it in. It bounces around to the far side wall, and I guess that was offside. Late call by the linesman, but a call made nonetheless with 6.5 to play in the second period. Games coming up later today. Forest Hills Northern and Eastern against Capital City. That's a co-op from the Lansing area. Caledonia versus Salem will wrap things up. That'll be over on the East Rink after Forest Hills Central gets done with the Huron Valley Titans. Other teams from out of the area who are here, Trenton, who East will play tomorrow at 5:45. I mentioned Big Rapids, mentioned Huron Valley. Bay Reps as well. I think I told you they lost to Catholic Central in a shootout. Chris Newton raising his voice at the referee nearest us. I don't know what that was about. It was some sort of signal about a line change. At least I think that's what Newton was getting at. Millette, Donnelly, far side and near side pass. Rattles off the skate of Arco, who was looking for a one-timer. Matson making a move to the outside, holding it, centering it, flipped too high by Donnelly, who throws his head back. Disgusted with himself that he couldn't bury that pass. And in fact, he shot it right off the rink. Seldom you see a shot from right in front go out of play without a deflection, but that's what happened there. There's such a thing as too much leverage, I suppose. Donnelly went down to a knee to elevate that, and he sure did. Face-off won cleanly by East Grand Rapids. But Houghton closes off the near wall. Not a lot of space out there today. Rowan bumped into Hembroff. The Gremlins right back into the attacking zone. Donnelly, pull-up move, fended off by Caden Gosens. Cross-ring pass from the near wing by Millette to nobody in particular. Hung on to by Jake Gosens. Chip in charge for the Pioneers. Donnelly gave it right to Levan, and Brinker is wiped out at the blue line, and back with it come the Gremlins, maybe a 3-on-1. Broken up on the pass. Caden Gosens got a stick in the way to prevent Millette from having a backside grade A opportunity. They went from a 3-on-1 to a 3-on-2 to a nothing play in a span of 3 seconds. It is the fastest game on earth, isn't it? As Rowan turned it over behind the Houghton goal. Aldrich churning his legs, handing, trailer, shot by Donnelly, blocked. In a lead pass the other way. Bjornsson's got a step. Bryce Bjornsson off the blocker of Flax. Rebound. And centered by Runyon, looking for Bjornsson on the follow-up. Did not connect. Hill to it at the point. Bjornsson rammed by Jenkins. And the puck cleared by the Gremlins with 4.5 to go in the second. Hill, the aerial pass. Gloved by Jenkins. Kept it going right behind the Pioneers' goal. Ryder Owen to Brinker. Good breakout. Right on the money with that pass to Bird. Trevor Bird into the corner. Centering one just away from Bjornsson, who had his stick lifted. Runyon returns it out high. Wristed by Brooks. Deflected in front. Might have been friendly fire off a Houghton player. Hard to tell. Either way, it missed into the near corner. And the Gremlins have it back. Aldrich filtering it behind the Pioneers' goal as the visitors change up. Well, the home team technically, but visitors for all practical reasons, the Houghton Gremlins. Runyon, end of his shift, trying to make something happen. Bjornsson's still out there too, as is Bird. Runyon heads to the bench as Matson takes command for Houghton. There's Bird though, centering, open Bjornsson, saved by Flax, and the rebound punched wide to the far board. Goldstrand couldn't clear. Bird unable to drag it by. Excellent poke check from Matson. Here's Goldstrand pulling up, turning it over to Brooks. Brooks to Bird. This really is the end of a long shift for Bird, and he couldn't make it happen on the rush. Speaking of rush, back with it Goldstrand. Stood up by Brooks just outside his bench. 3 to go in the second period. Still just the 1 goal on the board for Houghton from the opening half minute of play. Hembrov powered it around. Comes free at the half wall. And a centering feed. Only Whit Hill will get on the end of that. And Hill scales it on out. Icing against the Pioneers. 2:40 remaining in the frame. Low scoring, yes. Also entertaining, I would say, certainly, as the West Michigan Hockey Showcase rolls on. Nearing the end of day one. And this showcase brought to you by Baking Steel. Tired of soggy pizza at home? Use our secret weapon, Baking Steel. It costs less than a hockey stick, and we promise it won't break. Find more on the West Michigan Hockey Showcase website, or just Google or internet search, AI, whatever, to find Baking Steel. Spelled just how it sounds. Donnelly from out of the corner. Burrows behind the net. Donnelly sprays some snow against Levan. Turned it back. Levan nearly picked it off, but it drifted through onto Matson. Matson put it in the triangle of Jake Gosens, that spot between the skates and the stick. But doesn't lead to anything for Houghton, at least not yet. Taken away from Gosens by Arco. Arco's working hard, but so was Gosens. And Rowan gets the chip out. Off the wall it goes. Great play. Jake Gosens on the puck just short of the goal line. Prevented the icing. Rowan's pass back to the point, deflected away from Brinker. He's got to retreat, and he does well. Recovered quite well to keep it from being a rush chance for Houghton. Snapper from Matala. Bounces right over for Jack Sayan, but he couldn't put it on target. 90 seconds to go in the period. Bjornsson right back out there for the Pioneers, along with Bird. Bjornsson, a toe drag, ends up behind the goal. Looking out in front. Centering Runyon, hit the outside of the net with a one-timer. Runyon that close to his 4th of the year. And sent all the way down 200 feet by Sayan for an icing against the Gremlins. The Pioneers double shifting this line to try to get a spark. And, well, it worked there. Arguably their best chance of the game. Well, outside of the Bjornsson breakaway in the opening minute. Already forgot about that one. Runyon stapled to the boards. Millette takes over for Houghton. 1 minute to go. Arco fanned on the wrist shot from 50 feet out. Bjornsson bouncing it off the stick of Jenkins, who tried to whack it out of the air. Bird Wedged off the puck by Jenkins. Up the near side it comes. Bjornsson wins the puck battle, and he was hooked from behind. That should be a penalty against Houghton, and the call does come from the trailing referee with 39 seconds remaining in the period. And East will get its third power play technically, although they hope it lasts longer than 15 seconds, which is all the previous one did. Hooking against Noah Millette with just 39 seconds to go in the period. Rowan gets the call on the faceoff against Jack Sayin. Critical faceoff, and Rowan wins it cleanly. Right back to Ethan Brinker. Scans his options, shoots wide intentionally. Comes off the boards to his defense partner Gosens, who handles, gives to Trip Hoekstra. Bodied off the puck by Matson. Back to the point and flicked to center by the reaching Brandon Carey. Dumped back in by the Pioneers. Retrieved and cleared by Wesley Matala all the way in on net. 16 seconds to go in the second. Owen speeds it ahead. Rowan couldn't connect on the pass. It was deflected. Looking for Hoekstra. 7 seconds remaining. Houghton looking for one last clear. Couldn't get it out. Brinker rifles, and it's offline. It was blocked in front. Behind the goal, Hoekstra tried to pull it in front of the net, and time runs out on the Pioneers' attack. But East will still have 1 minute and 21 seconds worth of power play time when we begin the third period in about 10 minutes' time. Keep it here on the East Hockey live stream for more from the West Michigan Hockey Showcase. All right, third period time from Patterson. Pioneers down a goal, but they start the third on the power play. What more could you ask for? I'm Matt Gajtka. This is your East Hockey live stream. Like, subscribe, and sign up for those notifications so you know when we're going live. And you would have known 2 weeks ago that I was too sick to call the game. But thankfully past that. As Jake Gosens, drubs it back. Brooks a shot, deflected in! We are tied. And I think Trevor Bird got a piece of that shot. And we ride tonight to the guitar bite. Trevor Bird, a power play goal. 17 seconds into the third. Almost just like last year, East tied the score late in the second against Houghton in this matchup, which was also on the first day of the inaugural West Michigan Hockey Showcase. Bird gets his fourth, tying Bjornsson for the team lead. Porter Brooks the assist. Time of the goal, 16:41 to go in the third. But the Gremlins right back in and tossed to the near post by Hembroff. Nobody there. Runyon takes it back. So East has the equalizer. 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. Runyon chips deep and a quick line change for that top unit. Tipped off the rink by Brody Donnelly up into the protective netting. I did not see that puck go in the net. All I saw was the celebration. I was screened out as it tipped in behind Cooper Flax. Well, I was thinking it's going to have to be some sort of a excellent shot or a redirection to beat Flax, who has been sharp. And that goal doesn't change that. Against the best goalies, you got to get traffic in front a lot of times. As they say, take their eyes away. Brooks, who has his second assist of the year, chops it ahead. Levan lofts it forward. So new hockey game. We'll see how the Gremlins react. See how both teams react. Caden Gosens takes it back. Gosens, up the wall. Levan couldn't get it past the picket fence there as Jenkins snaps the shot. And Owen makes the stop. Ends up behind the net. Brooks reaching in for it. Here's Rowan. And a perfect backhand saucer job all the way down. But too far, so it's an icing call. Last year, well, here's some symmetry for you too. Trevor Bird didn't score in regulation, but he scored the game winner as a freshman in the shootout, as both he and goalie Charlie Finch, as ninth graders, played hero in the tiebreak. If we are tied after regulation, we will go directly to a shootout to keep the games moving on a proper pace. Got a lot of games to get in, including one more tonight. Bird looking to take a swing at it. Couldn't get there. Runyon chasing it, but Brinker has to kick it along, and it's booted right back out. A little soccer play there from Brinker over to Matson, and again, the Pioneers ice the puck 2 minutes into the third. Line change for East. EGR at 4-3. It's been a bit of a halting start to the season as far as the results are concerned. East won its opener, lost 2 in a row, then won 3 straight, including that 2-1 win at the Alpena Showcase against Grosse Pointe South. And hold that thought as Gosens gives Rowan a shot off the glove of Flax. Rowan charges in for the rebound, but it skips behind him. Cleared by the Gremlins to center. Brooks plays it like a center fielder, but couldn't make the pass through to Levan. Gremlins on the counter. Backside pass broken up. Donnelly trying to hook up to Arco. Arco one touch. Donnelly shot. Good stop by Owen off his shoulder. To the point. Hembroff, far side pass to Arco, and he misfired on the one-timer. Brooks getting tied up with Millette. To the point again, Hembroff. This time his pass blocked by Gosens. Wrister by Markham. That missed the target. Gosens with a body check to free up the puck against Cale Rep. But here's Donnelly again. He's incorrigible. Back toward the front. Oh my, off the skate of Caden Gosens and scooped alertly by Ryder Owen, first-year Pioneers goalie. Tomorrow for the Pioneers, they're on the stage again here at the East Rink, or excuse me, over on the East Rink, on the West today. That'll be a 5:45 scheduled start against the Trenton Trojans. The Trojans state-ranked by Michigan High School Hockey Hub. Scramble for the puck. Whithill helps it get to center ice. Runyon to Bird. Hand off Bjornsson, turning the corner. Bjornsson in a 1-1 game, right toward the front. Flax was looking around for it. He couldn't find it. It was redirected behind his net. No reason for him to fret. Kari on the chase. Hill wins the race, though. Brinker pulls it away from traffic. But he gave it right back to Kari, who jams it back behind the Pioneers' cage. Hill turned it. Hoekstra. Bjornsson run into by Soley on the stick check. East regroups. Bjornsson couldn't get around Frick. Tries again. Frick goes down in a heap in front of Bjornsson. Bjornsson kept it moving. Line change for East Grand Rapids. 4 minutes gone in the third. 1 goal in the first, 1 goal in the third. 1 for either side. That's your scoring summary to this point. Play continues in the East zone. Toward the front of the net, redirected by Calvin Rinkkinen, who's looking for his first goal of the season. Rinkkinen centering. And that was weakened and picked off by Porter Brooks. Does get it out to center, just barely. Rinkkinen headed it off. Excuse me, that was Frick. 17, not 7. Owen got bumped from behind. That's a penalty against Houghton. Oh yeah, says Ryder Owen. I did that. Well, he drew that. And Houghton gets dinged for an unnecessary penalty, and East will try to make the Gremlins pay. Interference, the call against Mason Soley. 12:22 left in the third, and can East forge ahead? Lower Peninsula meets Upper Peninsula in this one. Cleared by the boys from up north. And here comes Arco short-handed. Couldn't make the move. The puck rolled on him as he tried to deke at the lip of the crease. Connor Arco that close to putting Houghton back on top, but he couldn't get the shot away. That would have been a short-handed goal. Owen couldn't handle it behind the net. Donnelly aiming to come out in front. Brooks got in his way, though. Oh, and a penalty against East, and that'll do it for the power play. Bjornsson called for hooking. Second time today, he's going to the box. And right back to even strength. 4-on-4 this time. That's the second time that's happened in this game where a team went to the power play and then committed a penalty. It happened to Houghton the last time. Not a big special teams type of game, at least not so far. Shot off the post by Wesley Matala. It rings, and it's cleared, and a shot by Matson, excuse me. So first Matala, then Matson. And Matala came closest to breaking the tie, but off the right iron, flush off the post. 4-on-4 continues. And oftentimes in 4-on-4, you see D-men get involved because you almost have to generate offense. You can more easily create those 2-on-1s in certain spots on the rink. That time, though, it was just a simple point shot that got through. Sayin couldn't run the gauntlet. He's pushed off. Millette, though, turns it across. Matson back below the goal line. Millette to Matson. Houghton going to work in the attacking zone. A slip pass attempt taken away by Brinker. Brinker and Millette, they cancel out in the corner. Thrown up the middle, picked by Arco. Number 19 in black, Connor Arco. Swerves out high. Still keeping it. Shooting blocked. Whithill got in the way. Arco got it right back. Wanted to clip it in front for Donnelly. Intercepted. Bounced to center by the Pioneers. Bird looking for some loose change. It wasn't there. Donnelly. Inside out move, and the puck drifts in on Ryder Owen, who handles. 2 seconds left on the Houghton penalty, and then it'll be a 27-second Gremlins power play. 10:24 to go in the third. The face-off to the left of Owen. Once again getting the call as the Pioneers starting goalie tonight. He earned the win against Grosse Pointe South. Came on in relief against Detroit Catholic Central last weekend up north. Matala as the Gremlins power play commences. Millette, a shot blocked by the sliding Caden Gosens. Got in the way and he shakes his hand as that one stung. Side of the goal, Owen freezes. 3 seconds remaining on the power trip for the Gremlins. Just under 10 to play in regulation now. Fresh bodies on the ice for both teams. Your goal scorers in this game, Donnelly in the opening minute of the first for Houghton, and then Bird in the opening minute of the third for East Grand Rapids. If you like symmetry, this is the game for you. Like I mentioned, Bird was a hero in the game last year against Houghton. More symmetry. Pioneers kill off the abbreviated power play, but the lead pass connects to no one, so back we go into the defensive zone after the icing infraction. Thank you to those of you who put up with the loss of signal in the second period. This building can be a little tricky at times. Did not expect to go through the whole day. I'm doing 3 broadcasts. Did not expect to go through the whole day without a blip or a glitch, but we do regret the issue. Owen, the save, and the cover. Rowan against Sayin at the face-off circle. Here we go, and as always, it's not just about the center. It's about, can the wingers get in there? And Levan did to clear. Played offside, washed out. The Gremlins tagged up. Cross-rink pass, just a little behind Jake Gosens. Otherwise, the Nears might have had a 3-on-2. Turned back by Goldstrand up ice. Picked by Hill. Hill turned it over to Jenkins, who shoots deep. Brinker, handcuffed by that pass from his goalie, so all he can do is whack it out to center ice. 9 to play in the third. Hill lassos it, can't clear. Glove down by Arco as wrister tipped over the crossbar. Might have been Donnelly who got a piece of that. Arco smashed by Hill. Rowan leads it up the wall, but it hit a Gremlin stick. Couldn't get it further. So the power play gives East new life in this game. We're still tied though. Dropped off. Arco denied by Owen. Fantastic save, and that puck stayed in play somehow. That nearly hit the rafters. As Arco looked to go upstairs against Ryder Owen. Bird jousting with Jake Matson. Puck loose side of the net. Millette couldn't turn it toward goal. Donnelly. Head up. Makes the pass. Back to Matson. D to D. Matala, who hit the post earlier. This shot ricochets to the corner. Thrown to the front and cleared by Whithill. Not out. Not out, Arco. Backpedaling. Joins the fight near side. Matala closes, shoots off the blocker of Ryder Owen. Another key save. Long shift in the offensive zone for the Gremlins, but they bail for a line change. Bjornsson down the wood. Lost control. East desperate for some puck possession. Dumped off a partition by Brooks. Hops to the far side. Up ahead, deflected. No, it was not deflected by Rinkin, and that's icing against Houghton. 7:25 left in regulation. Who's going to put on that cape and be the hero? Barnes wins it. Brinker shoots it. Off a skate. Barnes on it again. And it's a whistling shot from J.D. Meny. Was blocked in front. Frick helps it down the boards. Brinker could not get it out. The Gremlins are very adept at cutting the top off the zone, so to speak. They keep a lot of pucks in. Snap cross corner by Hembroff. Owen couldn't cut it off. Brinker up and into the Pioneers bench. And Chris Newton making a signal towards somebody on the ice. I don't know if he wants a line change. Yeah, he does. As Jake Gosens comes out to join Rowan and J.P. Levan. We've got J.P. Levan and J.D. Meny, trying not to get those two mixed up this season. I guess so far so good. High slot shot by Goldstrand. That was blocked. I don't know how many shots the Pioneers have blocked today. Feels like close to 20, if not more. Their defending and goaltending have been a strength so far. He's trying to get back on the winning track after falling to Detroit Catholic Central. No shame there, but certainly a team that can make you feel bad about yourself when you play them. But they've given Houghton all the Gremlins can handle. And likewise, honestly, it's been just the type of matchup we expected. Close all the way to the end. Looks like that's going to be the case. Gosens cracked it off the wall. Houghton and the backhand dump in went off the back of Sayin and right up over the head of East Grand Rapids head coach Chris Newton, who retrieves that puck for the linesman with 6:06 to go in the third. Center ice face-off. And it's the line of Bjornsson, Bird, and Runyon back out there for the Pioneers. Brooks, excellent pass, right through to Bjornsson. Found the room, Bjornsson down the wall, tried to center it. Back door for Bird, it didn't get through. That close to a grade A opportunity. The puck goes through Brinker. Knocked the stick out of the hands of Millette, who got it back. He juggled that stick and caught it. That was rather amazing. You don't see that too often. Usually it hits the ice in that case. Matson shooting just wide on the half slapper from left point. He gets it back. Does Jake Matson. Freshman defenseman playing a ton for Houghton. Bird, the sophomore for East, up to Runyon. And the junior forward does get it out. Bjornsson, the senior, off to Bird. Dipsy-do move, he's right in. Oh, a glove save by Flax, and he holds it. Trevor Bird. Some magic in those hands, but he couldn't finish it off as he got right to the doorstep. And he has a seat rather frustratingly. He did it all but put it in the net. And Bird would tell you he shot it right into Flax's glove, and Flax would say, hey, that glove's supposed to be there. The eternal battle between shooter and goalie. Won that time by Flax. He stopped the breakaway, and he stopped that. I guess you call it a mini breakaway from Bird as he got behind the Houghton defense. Hembroff flags it down, shoots, and deflected just offline. Houghton has tried to set up that play several times, and the tips have not gone on target. Jay Gosens driving, his pass right in front of the net. It's scooted past J.P. Levan, who was right where he was supposed to be, but the puck didn't bounce his way. 4.5 minutes remaining. That's all that's separating us from a game-deciding shootout. Soft dump in, no icing. Gosens backtracks, retrieves. Hill around the boards. Cade Jenkins bunts it down the wall. Right out in front, Jenkins again. Regroups, feeds Goldstrand. Couldn't corral it. Now he forced it down the board. Soley is stripped. And the Pioneers do clear, just barely. Gullstrand held. And he flipped right back in, so the Pioneers get a free clear, but Hill content to ice that puck so the Pioneers can get a full line change. 3:46 left to go. We're here at Patterson Ice Center for the second annual West Michigan Hockey Showcase. My name is Matt Gajtka. Thank you for joining me on the East Hockey live stream. Dangerous pass by Brooks, turned over. Owen pads out the shot from Gullstrand from just above the left dot. That stops some hearts in here. Bjornsson, a big hit on Cale Rep, frees up the puck, and it's offside. The puck skittered away to the far wing. Bjornsson smashed Rep. That's just a classic hit, and it did the job. It pried the puck loose and nearly allowed East to get a scoring chance. It's the platonic ideal of a body check. You take the body and you get the puck loose. That's the whole point of it. The referee's arm is in the air. Penalty upcoming. Oh, and it's against East Grand Rapids. Houghton's Cooper Flack sprints to the bench, but Houghton can't get that sixth skater on there. However, with 3:11 to go in the third, Houghton to the power play again. Bird called for the high stick. Third power play for the Gremlins. And again, just 3:11 to go in the third. The PK called upon for East. Arco kicked out of the dot. Donnelly handles. He wins it. Pushed back to the point by Sayin. Matala far side. Back near wing. Donnelly shot blocked. Gosens got in the way of that. That one hurts. Caden Gosens not afraid to eat some pucks for the benefit of the team. And Rowan takes it away and clears right by Noah Millette at the point. 20 seconds into the penalty to Trevor Bird for high sticking. Offensive zone penalty. You hate to see those if you're East, but sometimes you just got to kill them off and bail out your teammate. Donnelly, top of the circle, down low to Sayin. Donnelly, one touch across. Arco couldn't take it cleanly. Too hot to handle. Arco fakes it, feeds it. Donnelly misfired short side. Back to Arco. Out high, Matala. Arco triggers it near wing. Oh, good catch by Donnelly. One hand on the stick as it was deflected. Matala, wrister. Owen saw it the whole way. Pad save. Can Gosens get there? He cannot. Held at the blue. Matala closes. Shot save. Rebound. Blocked by Brinker. Out of play. Jack Sayin thought he had a potential game-winning goal with 2:02 left. Instead, it's off the rink, and Houghton wants a timeout. And the Gremlins talk it over. They want to rest those top guns for sure, but it also gives East a chance to keep its top penalty killers fresh. Two sides of that coin. 52 seconds left on the power play. And those shot blocks have been so clutch for East Grand Rapids. None more important than what we just saw from, I think it was Ethan Brinker. He barely reacted when he tipped that out. It was stick-on puck. And Owen was lunging. It was looking dire at that moment for East. But they survive. It's still 1-1. Of course, we will get a winner in this game. The last time East went to overtime, it was here. They went to a shootout against Grosse Pointe South. That was last weekend, so I guess they technically did not go to overtime there. They went to OT against Byron Center. They will not go to OT here if it requires beyond regulation. Millette to Donnelly, a shot off of Gosens and wide. Back to live action. Donnelly scored in the first. Shot was rejected by Brinker. It bounces out to Arco. He shoots. That's blocked by Caden Gosens. And he's slow to get up, but it bounces right to Bjornsson, who clears. 27 seconds left on this power play. 1:30 to go in the third. Arco lowers the shoulder. Brinker headed him off. Donnelly follows on. Lost control of the puck to the corner. Brinker trying to tie it up against Sayin. 8 seconds to go before Bird gets out. Centering play. Scoots right by. Back to the point. Matala, far side. Arco lines it up, and it hit the crossbar. Matala got it back. Arco thinks he might have scored. That was tough to tell. That puck rocketed off the goal frame in some form or fashion. Arco to the bench. Off the bench comes Hembroff. Back out high. Donnelly turning to shoot. That's blocked there. Boy, I'd love to get a look at a replay, but we're not going to get that. In high school hockey, cleared by East Grand Rapids. 42 seconds left in the third. Could it be another shootout for East? Near side, Hembroff, wristing, missed. Rebound off the outside of the goal, and Owen melts it down. On the side of the net, chance from Braden Carey, excuse me. 29 seconds remaining in the third. Well, last year these two teams went to a shootout. Why not do it again? This game has mirrored that game in so many ways. Timeout East Grand Rapids. Chris Newton's got the marker board out. In that shootout against Grosse Pointe South last Friday in Alpena, Jake Gosens had the winner. Bjornsson scored the only goal in regulation that night. Bjornsson had the game winner against Byron Center. That was the last true overtime game the Pioneers played on November the 22nd here. That was with 1 minute to go in the OT. We'll either decide it in the next half minute or it'll come down to the tiebreaker. Next up on this rink, Forest Hills Northern and Eastern faces Capital City. It's scheduled to be an 8:15 start. I don't know if we're going to get that, especially if we go beyond the third period. Here we go. Bird at the dot against Arco. Connor Arco has been lurking in this third period. He thought he might have scored. Donnelly fans on the shot after the face-off win. Hembroff in the corner. Hembroff centered in front of Owen. Oh, they score! Houghton gets the go-ahead goal with less than a minute to go, less than 20 seconds to go. And it's Noah Millette, his 7th goal of the season. Well, the Gremlins thought they had scored on the Arco shot that might have gone under the crossbar. Instead, they get it on a goal-mouth scramble. Millette with 17.5 showing on the clock, and a wild celebration from the Gremlins and their fans. It's not over yet, but Ryder Owen, the goalie, is on the bench for East. It's a 6-on-5 right away. They can't waste any time. Noah Millette back in the Houghton zone, cleared to center. Brooks hands it off. Runyon fed it in deep. 6 seconds to go, though. The Pioneers need a miracle now. Hembroff sits on the puck below the goal line. Rowan can't pry it loose, and the Gremlins win it. Gremlins win 2-1. Noah Millette scores the winner with under 20 seconds to play. Quite the battle between these two schools again on the ice at Patterson. This time, Houghton comes out on top with a late regulation goal. Well, how about that? Houghton scores in the first half minute and in the last half minute. Bookend goals. One by Donnelly, one by Millette. And that's enough to overcome the power play goal by Trevor Bird early in the third, which had tied it, and it looked like it was going to force a shootout, but not to be. So East falls to 4-4. Houghton gets its fourth win at 4-2-1. Tomorrow, the Gremlins back on the ice at 11 a.m. They'll play on this rink against Granville before heading back up north. Meanwhile, East will try to recover, get back at it late, 5:45 against state-ranked Trenton. So 2 tough opponents for East this weekend, and they get edged essentially at the buzzer by Millette and company. Houghton wins it 2-1. And East Grand Rapids, like I said, an opportunity to test themselves here tonight. They'll get another one tomorrow as they'll take on Trenton. So that's it for us from Patterson on this Friday night. This is Matt Gajtka saying good night, God bless. Talk to you tomorrow. Only goodbye for now. East versus Trenton, another evening game tomorrow. Hope you join us on the East Hockey Live stream.